What's up, guys? Finished Leloy last time, and now we're going back to Europe with Sforza No. So, even though the in-game little timelines say that Sforza technically takes place starting a year before Joan of Arc and ending 3 years before, what this doesn't show is that Sforza went on to live a fair bit longer. And Joan of Arc, well, I'm sure most of you guys know how her story ends. So we're going to go ahead and start with Joan. Also, it's a classic. Anyway, starting our Frank campaign, Joan of Arc, with an unlikely messiah.
February 19th, Army camp near Vaucouleurs. This morning I woke to visions of fire and steel. These nightmares come more often, now that I've seen my beloved France eaten away by years of war. I wandered through camp, ignoring the new snowfall, but observing the wounds and weariness of every soldier under my command. Observing the desperation in their eyes. It was then that I first saw the girl. She told us that her name was Joan. She told us she was but a peasant who did not know how to ride or fight. She told
she wasn't really a
she
peasant.
intended to rescue France.
Well, I guess
The
she was
darkness lifted
lowest
through men's
nobility.
souls. Her voice rang with conviction, and we drank in her every word. I may have lost my faith, but Joan has not lost hers, and that is enough for me. Joan has asked our ragged band of soldiers to take her to Chinon, where the rightful ruler of France, the Dauphin, hides from his foes. The war-torn land in between is infested with enemy marauders, and we will lose many men. Death is by now an old companion, but for Joan, we will face it again.
Uh-oh, I muted myself. Joan must survive. Escort Joan from the camp at Vaucouleurs to the Chateau of Chinon. France's enemies are England and Burgundy. Be on the lookout for their forces. Do not expect much help from the army of France, but they will join you. Protect your two knights. It is not necessary to defeat everybody. Just bring Joan to her destination. Don't lose Joan. Joan is to the east. She gotta go to Chinon, which is to the west, and there's a bunch of bad guys in between.
Bonjour, Jean. My colleague and I will escort you to the chateau of the Dauphin, or else we will die trying.
I am Jean de Metz, and I will protect you with my life. You are Joan of Arc. I have heard your claims and believe what you say. We will follow you to Chinon.
You must be wary on the road ahead. Our enemies, the English, are out in force, and their Burgundian allies are thick as rats.
Why does he sound out of breath?
Discretion is the better part of valor.
Wait! You might have need of a few archers on the road ahead.
So yeah, this is of course, I'm sure most of you have played this before. If not, obviously that's why I'm here. But this is pretty much the classic AoE campaign. It was the first one that I'm sure most of you guys played after William Wallace. Like, back in Age of Kings, this was the first campaign. Like, it was listed as number 2 after William Wallace, which was number 1. It's a classic story. Like, it's literally, like, probably one of the most famous medieval-era stories, at least in the West, is Joan. Just because it's a really good story, you know? It's about a young girl inspiring an otherwise defeated army to victory. And it's not really that hard. Well, the last one actually can be pretty hard, or the last scenario in this campaign can be pretty hard. And number 5 can be pretty annoying, but this particular one should be short and sweet. Yeah, Franks, also very popular civilization. I'm sure what many people in, you know, Europe, North America, Australia, New Zealand, when they think of the Middle Ages, I'm sure a lot of it is medieval France or medieval England, which is, of course, the setting of AoE2. I mean, not specifically medieval England and France, but this campaign. And honestly, many of the units are based off of what you would find in those places. Like the fact that our heavy cavalry unit is called a knight. Anyway, we gotta go this way, but there's a Burgundian little town in the way, so we gotta go past that. Pretty much every scenario we will be fighting the British, English. I guess they're now called English because it wasn't the British until 1607. At least I think it was 1607. Dates are hard. But, yeah, I guess the English and Burgundy. Which they have in purple. Because, you know, the color burgundy, purple, makes sense. At least, I'm pretty sure that's why. I never read anything that, like, they picked purple as a color for burgundy because of the color burgundy, but that's my headcanon. And you even play as blue, like the classic color, player 1. And of course, getting a fair dose of nostalgia whenever I play the old Age of Kings or Conquerors campaigns, but like especially the Age of Kings campaigns. So popular. I must say, it's probably my least favorite of the Age of Kings campaigns. But with that said, I still really, really like it. I mean, for nostalgia alone would place it as one of my favorites. But my only gripe with it is that a lot of the scenarios are like, destroy the English castle, destroy the English castles, destroy the English town centers. I don't know, they feel a little samey. And part of it's because we're always facing some combination of Franks and Britons. So there isn't a ton of diversity there. Kind of like the Vietnamese campaign. But still, like the dialogue, the missions, it's all very classique. Oh no, units don't get stuck. Nope. Anyway, I'm lazy, so we're just gonna leave the Captain Ram behind. Not leave Joan behind. Because you don't need the Ram anymore. But of course, what I will be trying to do throughout these campaigns, like, you know, the old ones, is describe the differences between DE and the HD/AOC Age of Kings version, you know, the old versions. This scenario is almost entirely the same. There are a few very, very minor changes, like you lose control of the outposts once this battle is over. But other than that, things are more or less the same.
There are Burgundian soldiers everywhere. Hurry west to the river where we can make our escape.
Ahem. Into the goddamn transport. You also, yeah, I don't know if I just said this or not, but you used to not get vision to see the embuscade coming. Anyway, you can actually pretty much just win right here if you want. This is something I actually, like, discovered when I was, like, 6 or 7. My dad was very impressed. Because pretty much all I did back then was play against the AI or play the campaigns. Because, you know, I was like 6 or 7. Anyway, you can transport, drop off right here, and you can just walk over to Chinon. I won't do that just so I can show you guys the rest of the map. It doesn't really take that much longer. It's already going to be a pretty short video. But just to let you guys know. Oh yeah, there's War Galley here. I mean, it'll take a long time for it to destroy one of your transports. Maybe not that long, but, you know, just try and drop them off over here. You do need Joan, specifically, to inspire the soldiers. Can we get... Oh my god. You know what?
Such confidence I have not seen since this war began.
Very well.
You are 6 more soldiers. Jean's men.
Knights? Yeah, that's what I was trying to get the knights to kill. I mean, this is the last fight, so it's not like... Oh, that was kind of a fail. Let's be honest, that was a fail. Anyway, there go the highwaymen. That's what you get for, robbing poor little travelers. Anyway, we'll just have our 2 knights and Joan rush on ahead, so we're not bogged down by these slower units. I actually have no idea what Joan's move speed is, probably like 1 or something. Maybe it's only 0.9? Maybe she moves the same speed as a swordsman. She is classified as an infantry unit.
Chinon.
Well, Joan the Maid is. From next scenario onward, we'll be getting her on a horse. But yes, we have made it to Chinon. Now, all of my friends' pronunciations are going to be absolutely top tier, as I took 4 years of high school French. Therefore, I'm fully qualified to say all these French words.
The Chateau of the Dauphin.
Just kidding. I sucked at French. I mean, I did take it for 4 years, but doesn't mean I was very good at it. Huzzah! There used to be like an English or British champion over here. You can see the little gap in the forest where it used to be, but they got rid of it. Sad face. I used to just go over there, snipe it with my crossbow, and then it would defeat the English because after the battle their units just go off the map. Anyway, we pretty much saw everything. There's just this castle over here for Burgundy. Just don't walk into it. Just don't. They'll tell you not to walk into it, so just don't, because you'll die horribly and there's no reason to go over here. But other than that, pretty straightforward. Turn up the volume.
As Joan's footsteps echoed down the marbled hall of the chateau, the fat and whispering dukes did naught but stare. The Dauphin himself seemed afraid as she kissed his feet. My gentle Dauphin, she demanded. Why does England claim what is ours? Why are you not crowned King of France, as is your right? The courtiers began to murmur. The Chamberlain whispered lies into the Dauphin's ear. But the Dauphin pushed the Chamberlain away and rose to meet Joan's gaze. She stands only to the shoulder of the shortest man, but all of us must look up to speak to her. I know not what silent conversation passed between the Dauphin and his would-be savior, but it was obvious that His Majesty was in the same thrall as we.
Okie dokie, there was Joan 1. This probably won't be the last one I record before the patch. So I'm a couple campaigns ahead of what's going on YouTube on a daily basis. Because, like I've said before, it's the beginning of the semester. I have time. As the semester goes on, I'll be more and more swamped with work and then be less able to record, but that's when, that's where these come in. Anyway, that's an Unlikely Messiah. The Maid of Orleans will be coming up next. See you guys then.